Welcome to the Bear Essentials, news and views from the Bear Pit, Stratford-upon-Avon's little theatre with big ideas. This is Penny SK and I'm here at the Bear Pit for another episode of the Bear Essentials. I'm sitting at the back of the auditorium looking down at the beginnings of the set for Head and Heart, our play that comes on stage at the end of January. And sitting with me is the director, writer, genius behind the concept, Paul Greenwood. Hello, Paul.
The first time I've been called a genius, but that'll do, that's fine, that's a good start.
Well, I've heard wonderful things about this play, so
good.
I'd like to chat a bit about the play in a bit, but first of all I thought we should talk about you, because you have a fascinating background. You're a professional actor, I think. Is that right? Could you tell me a bit about your background?
Yeah, I've been an actor for 50 odd years now, 50 something years, yeah. Well, I went to drama school, but before that I didn't really think about being an actor, except at school one of the teachers said, you should take this up, because we did a production of what was it? Oh, it was Pygmalion, and I was Doolittle. So and so and I got a few laughs. So he said, "Why don't you have you thought about it?" And I had not a clue how to start. Well, you wouldn't, would you? I mean,
no, I suppose not. No.
From Stockton-on-Tees, I had no idea there were things like theatre, and then then it went, because in those days there was so many jobs. I mean, there were so many repertory theatres, and when I left drama school, I had 3 jobs on the second day or something. You know, that's the way it was, and so I went straight to rep. Then you go for a year or 9 months, 10 months to a year, and then I went from there to another one, and that's how it all started. I just kept going.
You've also been on stage at our slightly larger theatre in town, haven't you?
Oh, yeah.
You've been an RSC actor for a while. What might we have seen you in at the RSC?
Oh, well, it's a long time since I've been there, but my first part was in Comedy of Errors, and then I did it again recently. Well, not recently, what am I talking about? 20 years ago with David Tennant. He played the part I played in the one I was originally in.
Oh, wow.
You know, and I did Wizard of Oz, I did The Scarecrow, and I did King Lear, and I did Midsummer Night's Dream. I've done that many times. Yeah, so I did lots of stuff. I did Fair Maid of the West, the original.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Yeah, with Sean Bean.
Oh, my goodness.
Imelda Staunton, people like that, and Pete Postlethwaite. It was a huge thing, yeah.
Wow,
yeah.
That's really, what an amazing career. That's brilliant.
You think so?
Isn't it? Yeah.
And I've just kept going, basically. Yeah.
You've now sort of crossed over into writing slightly, although I'm sure you still do the acting. So,
yeah.
Is this the first play that you've written?
No, I've written quite a lot. When I was first in rep, actually, I started writing. I remember writing, I was in a play that I really liked, and I just went home and wrote. And I realised now it was a bit of a rip-off from the play I was in, because I loved the language of it, and so I did something similar. And I always wrote things down, things overheard on the bus and things like that. I've always been doing that. And then I wrote a play that we did at the RSC, actually. That was quite autobiographical, about my mum and dad and family thing. Yeah, I did that. Right. That was called Dancing in the Dark.
Wow.
And then I wrote, and every time I did a pantomime, I always wrote lots of the pantomime, because I love panto, and I love doing really crude, not rude, but crude, funny things like bumping my head on the wall and
proper slapstick.
I loved slapstick, and I loved doing that kind of comedy all the time. When I went to the RSC, I was doing Mr. Juvenile Lead when I wasn't even a juvenile. And I kept thinking, I want the funny parts, but they kept giving anyway. So I just kept doing that kind of thing.
Do you think that there's that crossover from actor to writer? Do you think being an actor gives you experience?
Oh yeah, well, when I come to write, I can see it happening. So because I've got quite a lot of knowledge of the stage craft, etc.
Right. Yeah.
For example, if I know somebody's got to go off and And when they come back, they've changed into something. So I give them time to change. Those kind of practical things.
Yeah.
So I'm quite aware of, you know. If they go off one side, oh, they've got to come on the other. It's all in my head, that kind of thing.
Right.
Because of all the work I've done with these great directors. And I've learned an awful lot from the Trevor Nunns and the Adrian Nobles and all these people, you know. So
Wow.
I've been very lucky in that respect. So yeah, being an actor has helped a lot.
So the genesis of this play has taken place over several years, hasn't it? So
Well, a few years, yeah. I had when I was writing, whenever you know this, when you're writing, you have these voices in your head, which is you saying, no, that's rubbish. No, you've done that before. That's not. Well, you can say it better than that. What are you talking about? It's not. It's just funny little jokes. So all these voices, I thought, I would bring onto the stage in character as characters.
Right. That's. I mean, I think we can all empathise with that, can't we? That sort of voice in our head.
Yes.
And I love that concept of actually bringing that to life and showing what that's actually like, in a sort of much more physical, in a much more tangible way.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, Paul. What we're going to do, I think, is I'd love to talk to you a little bit more about the play. So what we'll do is we'll call into this podcast, but come back for part 2 because we're going to talk in a little bit more depth about exactly who's going to be treading the boards for you. So thank you ever so much for your time.
No, thank you. It's been lovely. Thanks very much.